There's no such thing as Christian yoga. There's no such thing as Christian yoga. You cannot put once again, these positions, learn them in Sanskrit, have the names of the gods that you are putting your body into. So there's no argument here. And you are constantly opening yourself up to lower gods. And they will have their way with your life.
So this astral projection thing was not just an idea that you were interested in. This was something that you were practicing.
Yeah. And I recommend no one do it. It's just a gateway for demons to get into your life.
Most people want to feel some sort of power, or you want to feel like you have some sort of purpose in life, right? And so I guess this was one of those things that was validating that, most people in the New Age space say that I'm gifted. And they sell you that dream that you are gifted. And so I guess that was what was most attractive about it.
What we consider as sin, like the 10 Commandments, do not covet, do not attempt to make children before marriage. Like, you don't consider that sin.
Personally, when it comes to my definition of sin, it has everything to do with you as a person. It has everything to do with your own path as a person. And it has nothing to do with your external environment. It has nothing to do with the laws that society has set, because all these laws are contextual. The time that we live in is very different from the time that other people live in. And some of these laws that we follow right now were created at a time when those people, like for example, the Israelites, they were dealing with totally different things from what we deal with now. And so our existence as at now, all of us have our own inner system of guidance, intuition. We all have a gut feeling, inner system of guidance. And every time you go against this inner system of guidance, you are missing the marks. And so you are falling out of alignment with yourself. It has nothing to do with society. It has nothing to do with governmental laws. Yes. It has nothing to do with the Levitical laws. It has everything to do with you as a person. Okay. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad.
What does the Bible teach us about self-realization? Let us start with self-realization and self-actualization. For those who are practicing yoga and New Age. Now, Matthew 16:24-26 says this. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross. Follow me. For whoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever loses his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited, if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? What Jesus was asking is that, so if you give up your soul and gain the whole world, what profit would you have? Because eventually you'll lose it. At the end of the day, as Christians, we believe that there's life after death, and there are only two ways after death. So it's either heaven or hell. So then what does it profit you? That you gain the whole world and lose your soul. And Jesus said this, that if anyone will come after me, let him deny himself. So deny himself and take up his cross. Then continues and says this, and follow me. For whoever saves his life shall lose it. So when you try to save your life, then you shall lose it. But whoever loses his life for Christ, for the sake of Christ, then shall gain it. So Galatians 6:3-8 says this, for if a man thinks himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth in his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth in the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap everlasting life. So, we are being told that it's when you sow your work in flesh, you will reap corruption, because the flesh is born to being corrupt. But if you reap in the spirit, then you reap everlasting life. So what Paul is trying to tell us is that then the self-realization and self-actualization and self-knowledge will only lead to corruption. Proverbs 1-7. For the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So then, if you're gaining knowledge and it's not from God, where is this knowledge coming from? Who is this so wise to instruct himself? I would ask. So then, we are not wise to instruct yourself. You have to receive instructions from somewhere. Then, where are you receiving your instructions from? Because if then you are working towards gaining your self-knowledge and self-actualization, it will be according to your desires and what you will and think that you want. So I think it's a time as Christians that we remember Proverbs 1:7, especially that says that fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instructions. Proverbs 2:1-8 says this, my son, if thou wilt receive my word and lay up my commandments with thee, so as to incline thine ear unto wisdom, and apply thy heart to understanding. Yeah, if thou cry after discernment, and lift up thy voice for understanding, if thou seek her as silver, and search for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of Jehovah, and find knowledge of God. For Jehovah giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the upright, for he is a shield unto them that walk in integrity, that he may guard the paths of justice and preserve the way of his saints. So, very clear that if you are in search of wisdom, if you are in search of knowledge, then the fear of the Lord is where you start. Then Proverbs continues and says this, for Jehovah gives wisdom, for God gives wisdom, out of his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. Then where else are you looking for your wisdom and knowledge if it's not out of God's mouth? How are you seeking your knowledge and wisdom? He lays up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to them that walk in integrity, that he may guard the paths of justice and preserve the way of the saints.